What's happening, Wargamers? Welcome to the After Action Report for Spider Foes versus Inhumans. And this was an interesting one because I think the scoreboard and the game state tell two very different stories on this particular one. So let's start over with you, Troop. What did you like or not like about your particular squad tonight?
So as it turns out, Mordo and a certain Russian in metal were supposed to be helping out the Inhumans today, and I couldn't quite find the points, so I brought in Ronan to make it happen. But
really? Omega Red was?
No, not Omega
Dynamo?
Red. Dynamo. Yeah.
Oh, Dynamo would have been good in this one.
Because one of the things I really suffered on was apparently bad defense rolls. They were never really there, even with a reroll.
So I do want to just point out, this is with a whole bunch of Extremis console usage as well. Like, look at all the damage you have. Venom healed a cumulative like 5 or 6 damage, right?
Yeah.
Sinister is dazed. Kraven is dead. Bob has been dazed twice at this point. You know, Doc Ock almost got taken down. Rhino was at like 6 damage, and he's dazed again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you gave a fair bit of attrition there. And actually, come to think of it, I think if I didn't pull out Venom, you might have been able to pull this game back.
That's possible, yeah, actually.
Well, because think about it, Venom took out Blackbolt.
Yep.
And Venom took out Baron Mordo, right?
Yep.
And he was an extra target that was being that you had to deal with all of a sudden. If Mordo had been allowed to, say, go into Kraven himself or someone else.
Yep, Kraven. Well, he would have done the same thing. He would have hit Sinister with the little bolts, and then hit Kraven instead of Venom.
And I mean, Kraven wasn't rolling defense dice. So yeah, actually, come to think of it, I think Venom is actually what clinched me the win.
I think so too, actually, yeah.
Because Venom. Because here's the thing: without Venom, this game would have ended on. We would have gone to round 6.
Yeah.
Right. It would have been 15-11 round 6. But I mean, Kraven was gone. I didn't really have a whole lot of damage output. You had priority. Yeah. You could have easily taken out Doc Ock.
Yeah.
With Blackbolt there, and yeah, you had Whisper online, so that was.
Yeah, that would have been gross.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I think this game was actually a lot closer than the scoreboard indicates.
I think you're right. Yep.
So, did you like your team?
Yeah, I did. The things that I disliked were I felt like Medusa rolled 0 defense dice. I know she technically rolled more than that, but even with rerolls, it just never felt like she could do anything.
I agree with you there. Her defenses didn't feel like they showed up. Yeah. I also think I rolled way above the curve.
You did have a couple of like big hits that triple crits really brought you back.
I think that happened like 3 or 4 times with the triple crits.
Well, and I had a couple of really good critical rolls too. Like Medusa made 4 attacks in the final round.
Yeah,
like, it was a very good round.
Re-rolling into the flurries was just fantastic.
Well, I'm like, I think this Inhuman royal family is going to really work out well. And then I was like, Blackbolt doesn't need this. I'll save it for because I can do multiple characters with it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, Blackbolt doesn't need it this round. He's only got to do a couple of points to Ock, and then I'll pop over and do some damage. No, that doesn't matter.
I'm surprised Ock actually survived that final master punch.
It was a great roll. So
yep, it was. I mean, that's just how dice go sometimes, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like I loved Ferocity of Sidorak in this list. I felt like I had power for days.
You did. I kept looking over. It's like, holy crap, you got a lot of power.
Well, and like Ronan did a really good job of just standing there with the Power Stone and take a couple of hits, give out some judgments, and.
It is unfortunate that you weren't able to get at least one more activation out of Ronan.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to go down quite as easily as he did, but that's okay.
It was surprising that with that 5 dice mystic that I took, I was not expecting to do that to him.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm very proud of what he did over the course of the game because he definitely meant I had a lot of things. I didn't use my patch up. I had 2 opportunities where I thought about doing it and I decided not to, and looking back, definitely should have used patch up.
That's fair. Normally, you're really on the ball with that one too.
Well, and it's like, do I heal 3 damage? I'll wait and get some more. It was a little too much greed, I think.
That's fair.
But I was very envious of your use of those Extremis consoles. That was...
oh my goodness, I got so much use out of them. Like
you made my patch up look like garbage. That's why I was trying to maximize it.
I think I used them about 5 times, maybe 6. Like
That is something actually I want to talk about. The idea that like I was the aggressor and I was moving into your space, which meant I didn't hold these
Yeah,
consoles.
those were just ignored.
I definitely had like my original plan was move up with Ronin, have him within one, pick that up, and then move over, grab this one, be within range two of him, and then pop over this way towards this console with Medusa. And while it seemed like a really great idea, I didn't. It was
So
too far of a distance for that.
you know would have been a good card for your particular play.
Yeah.
Eyes on the prize.
Yeah.
Eyes would have allowed you to do that. It would have been a much closer game early on.
Yeah. But even in that situation, I'm like 1 point ahead, and me defending on the castle side, like I think one of Blackbolt's big things is he's so aggressive, he can get in there and really do a bunch of damage. And you were pushing him away, which was like, oh,
Honestly, if I hadn't done that twice,
yeah,
like it would have been a very different game because you would have gotten in there, you would have been able to double tap with that master punch a lot more.
yep,
And I was terrified of that, and rightly so. Like, look what Blackbolt did once he actually got within range, right?
yeah, he had some pretty silly hits, and yeah,
Like Doc Ock, actually, I don't think he threw a single attack this game. I think all he did was walk around and throw people around.
Yep.
Bob threw 2 attacks and just a surprisingly good pistol attack.
Yeah, he had a good pistol attack and a bad missile attack.
Yeah.
Or bazooka attack.
Rhino, I think, only did 2 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do a whole lot either, right?
Yeah.
He fished out that brace that...
He did do a robbery. So
no, there was no brace. There was no brace. That's right.
Yeah.
There was a brace on my part.
Yeah.
There's a brace on my part, which if I didn't have that brace, that could have been really... Because that was the last damage you needed to do on Rhino. So
yeah, that's
brace,
exactly... Oh, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get to use your brace on the second turn? This is great.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. Craven had one really good turn.
Yep.
Which, I mean, cool. I'm happy about that.
But sometimes you just need one good turn, so...
Yeah, I mean, he shanked Ronin with his kukris, and he called it a day there. Sinister, though. Sinister was a surprising standout for me in this game.
Sinister, like... I gave you sweet beams. I didn't think you'd risk him quite that way. You did, and I'm like, I'm going to punish you now. Wait,
I got greedy with him, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? It paid out? This is bull crap.
I got greedy, and by round 4, all of a sudden, there's a surprise Venom.
Yeah.
Just, oh man, yeah. And the more I think about it, like Venom was what clinched it for me. I think there was still a lot more game to be had if Venom had not come in.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because I'm just looking back here, like another round, and honestly, yeah, like you maybe even ignore Doc Ock with Bolt, and instead you go over here and you try to clean up Rhino and Sinister.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Because Doc Ock still has to do a lot to get around and everything like that, and you take away a lot of scoring potential and potentially save Medusa.
Yeah.
As well, right?
Yeah. And like honestly, like Mordo is not bad at dealing damage to Ock, so or at least just dropping a bunch of conditions on him, right?
Yeah.
Like hexing him and giving him some burning rain. Yeah. So
he gives him the burns.
Yeah. So.
Like a visit to Taco Bell. But yeah, no,
harsh treatment.
That was actually a really interesting game. I think there's some layers to this one that are definitely worth looking into a little bit more because. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, you showed that outside of a couple unfortunate rolls, like once you kind of got that ball rolling,
yep,
your team was able to do quite a bit of work.
Well, and if I had used Inhuman Royal Family a little bit earlier and affected more people with it, I think I might have been able to really make an impact with that. So.
Quite possibly, yeah. Like if you'd been able to get both Ronin, Blackbolt, and Medusa all using it, like that you could have had a really big swing turn. And I mean, to be honest, I think this is like the second time I've seen you play Inhumans.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's not. I'm not surprising that you didn't quite have the familiarity with it. I love that you managed to get Terragenesis off.
Yep.
That makes me really happy.
On the other hand, I'm sad that I got Terragenesis off because I was so far behind it didn't matter that much. But I did hit Rhino out of there, so that wasn't. No,
it was Sinister.
Right.
It was Sinister that you Terragenesis into. Yeah.
I was preparing to do it for Rhino, but Sinister was the better attack of opportunity.
Yeah, and then Medusa just finished off Rhino anyway.
Yeah.
So, but no, that was cool. That was a really fun game. I think that was that bodes well for the new season of Crisis Protocol content here.
Exactly.
As we get going. So yeah, guys, leave your comments below. Get involved in the discussion. What you like, didn't like, all that sort of stuff. Of course, if we missed anything, be sure to point that out.
Please.
I do feel like we played a fairly clean game. So, but you never know. And remember, if you want to support the channel, patreon.com/AgesBandStudios. We'll see you next time. Happy wargaming.